my goal. If I can inspire one person to travel the world, I've done my job. So definitely want more people to go see the world. All right, hello everyone, salam alaikum. So today I'm gonna be doing something a little bit different. I always get asked so many questions about my travels. What's my favorite country? How did I get into traveling? And many, many more. So I did an Instagram Q&A where I got over 1,000 questions and we're gonna be answering as many as possible. So let's get into our first question. Here we go. So the first question is from KNKuku96, the country you'll never want to visit. And the answer to that is I wanna visit every single country in the world. So far, alhamdulillah, I've been able to visit 114 countries. I never thought I'd be able to do this in my life. And I just want to keep on going, try to hit every country in the world. That's the goal. So inshallah, we can do every country. So the next question is from Nabil14. What makes you want to travel to every country in the world? It's a very good question. So basically, I'm super curious about the world. I never really got to travel growing up. Only trips I ever took were to Lebanon to go visit my family. We'll get into that later. But once I started traveling alone, I fell in love with traveling, man. And I'd say the top 3 reasons are people, learning about the world, and food. So I've met some of the coolest, nicest people around the world just from traveling. I've learned so much about the world, things that you'll never learn in university, never learn in school. Like recently I went on a trip to Comoros. I learned so much about that country, so much about the history, and I've just never been taught about Comoros anywhere else. I was posting about it online. Many people were messaging me, thank you for visiting my country. Thank you for learning. Thank you for showing us Comoros, showing the world Comoros. And then number 3 is the food. As you can tell, I love food. I've been a huge foodie my whole life. I grew up in a pretty diverse city, so I was eating Korean food, eating Pakistani food, and then now that I get to go travel to those countries and try the food over there, it's amazing, man. So the next question is from Muslim Expeditions. Where is your family? So as you know, I'm Palestinian. We have huge families, man. I have over 20 aunts and uncles, over 150 first cousins, and most of my family lives in Lebanon. So my mom's side of the family lives in southern Lebanon in this Palestinian refugee camp called En El Helwe. My dad's side of the family lives in northern Lebanon in this Palestinian refugee camp called Nar Barid. And I was just in Lebanon actually a few months ago. I vlogged a lot of the trip. I don't know if I'm gonna post a video yet, but yeah, I grew up in a very weird world, man. I spent my school years in America, and then in the summer I'd go to a Palestinian refugee camp. And my parents and siblings are the only family I have in America. So that's kind of what got me into traveling. I wanted to go see the world. I wanted to go meet more of my family that I've never met. I used to come back to school in the fall and all of my peers, classmates were telling me about their fancy Europe trips, all the trips they took around the world. But all I ever did was go to Palestinian refugee camps. So I promised myself, I was like, one day I'm gonna go see the world. I wanna go see all these places. I need to go see these places. Alhamdulillah, I've been able to do that. So what balad in Palestine are you from? Have you ever been back to Palestine? So we're from Safuri. It's a small village in Nazareth. And I actually went to Palestine around 2 years ago. It was a very emotional trip, man. I was the first person from my family to go visit Palestine because none of my family in Lebanon are allowed to go. I have a Western passport, so I was able to use that to go. And I went to Nazareth. I went to our homeland. And in Nazareth, I met some of my family. We still have a small percent of our family still in Palestine. And they have their own restaurant called Ma'ad Fool. So my last name is Ma'ad. It was so cool to see that. The food was so good. They also took me to Akka. They took me to Tiberiya. They took me all around Palestine, seeing our homeland. So it was an amazing trip. Inshallah, I can go back, but there was a lot of problems while I was leaving. They tried arresting me. They literally took my cameras, my SDs, all of this. But inshallah, we'll go back to Palestine, inshallah. So the next question is from Shaista. How do you afford all of this travel? This is the question I get asked the most. So if you want to see the world, you have to make it a priority. Right when I graduated university, I knew I wanted to go travel. I was always an adventurous person. I grew up not being able to travel that much. I was like, I need to go see the world. So I worked corporate for a couple years, and most of my money that I was making, I literally saved and put in another account just for traveling. And then when COVID started, I had a remote job. So I went to South America. I was like, let me try working remote in other countries while traveling. So I worked in Colombia for a few months. I loved it. I worked in Guatemala, worked in Costa Rica, and I was like, it's finally time to go visit Asia. So I was working in Asia, but I was working at nights. So it was super hard. I had no time really to make content, no time to make videos. So after working remote for some time while traveling, I told myself, I'm gonna quit. I need to go all in on this YouTube thing. And that's what I've been doing. So I had a lot of money saved up. Now I'm basically spending it all on traveling and on YouTube. So that's what we're doing. If you want to travel the world, you have to make it a priority, man. You have to. Traveling the world is not as expensive as you think. I have not spent that much money. Question from Yan Gigs. Total budget for 100 countries. This question shocks a lot of people when I tell them the answer. But in the first 100 countries, I spent around $20,000. So I started my travels in South America, Central America, traveled pretty cheap, lived in hostels. There wasn't really too much tourism at the time because of COVID. And then from there, I flew to Europe. I got the 3-month train pass. So in around 3 to 4 months, I went to 35 different countries. And I didn't spend too much. If you get the 3-month train pass, you get to explore all of these countries. I spent probably around $4,000 in that whole summer. I kept it very low on budget, would eat fast food. And after there, I flew to Asia. So traveling around Southeast Asia is really easy. You got solid flights, you got trains. I went to so many different countries. My favorite region in the world, Southeast Asia. And that's how I traveled to over 100 countries. It's honestly very doable. You stay at hostels, take public transportation, eat local food. You can do it with $20,000 to $25,000. I promise you. I promise you can do it. I did it. So anyone can do it. Alfred Mubarak, what kind of accommodation do you usually go for and the budget for it? Cheapest accommodation I can get. The cheaper I get, the more I'll be outside of the hotel or hostel, the more I get to explore, the more I get to interact with people, the more I get to find local gems. The cheapest I can get. I don't want to stay in a nice place. I don't want to sit there and sleep all day. I want to not be there. So I sleep in hostels usually. I'm always sleeping in hostels. 8-person, 6-person hostels. It gets tiring, draining, but it's what you got to do if you want to travel the world. You got to have those sacrifices. If I stayed in nice hotels, no way I would have visited 100 countries. No way. Wouldn't have been possible. So hostel life for now. Let's see. Snap Lens. Do you keep account of all you spend when you travel and do you track your journeys on a map? So yeah, I use an app called Ben to track my journeys, every country I visited. And to keep account of my spending, I have a Google Sheet. Every single thing I spend, I put on the Google Sheet. So I know every single dollar from all of my trips. And I plan on updating it all throughout my journeys. Once I finish traveling to every country, I'm going to release all my expenses and show how much I've spent traveling to all 196 countries in the world. So next question is from Shazay.9. Out of these 100 plus countries, which are your top 3 fave countries? So everyone knows my favorite country. It's Malaysia. I made a whole video explaining why Malaysia is number 1. I love it so much. But number 2 is Indonesia. It's basically 1A, 1B. Malaysia, Indonesia. Indonesia is just as good. They have amazing hiking, amazing food, scuba diving, mountains, waterfalls, everything you can imagine. If you're an adventure traveler, you'll love Indonesia. The people are super friendly. It's the biggest Muslim country in the world. And for number 3, I'd say either Vietnam or Brazil. Both of those blew my mind when I visited. I've actually been to Vietnam twice now. I've been to Brazil once. Those are, I can't pick which one's number 3. So yes, those. I knew I would get this question. So question from Ramesh.Popal, which country has the most delicious food? Man, this is the hardest question to answer. So many countries have incredible food. But I'd probably say China. I think China is number 1. My trip to Beijing had some of the best restaurants I've ever tried in my life. I was shocked that there was that much halal food. And everything was just so good. I'm a big fan of Asian cuisine. I'd say Asian cuisine is probably my favorite. But China, bro, the food there was crazy. So good. I didn't expect to fall in love with the food there, but everything there was so good. The dumplings, the beef noodles, the Beijing duck, all the street food, the mutton kebabs. So question from Ella.Ha. Can you list your top 5 fave meals worldwide? I actually can. So I keep a list of my favorite stuff when I travel the world. Number 5 was this chicken machboos dish I had in Kuwait. The Kuwait has the best food in the Middle East I've tried so far. Number 4 was this restaurant in Masr in Egypt called Wahed Khattab. Amazing nomad food. So good. Number 3 was a restaurant in Pakistan called Kolachi. They had this chicken makhni out of this world. I fell in love with it. Karachi, you gotta try Karachi. It's a must. Number 2 was probably the Beijing duck I had in Beijing in China. Crazy good. Number 1 was this crab I had in Singapore, jumbo seafood. I fell in love with the Singapore chili crab. Let's see what my 5 favorite are though once we're done traveling to every single country. So let's see. So next question, how to be successful on social media when starting from zero and documenting travel? So my answer to that is 1, you gotta believe in yourself. 2, you gotta put in work. 3, consistency. Gotta stay consistent. If you're not consistent, you won't be successful. So definitely follow those 3 steps. Don't care what anyone thinks of you. Edit your videos, post your videos, do everything for you. In the future, you're gonna look back on it and be so happy that you did it. So definitely just do things for you. It's also great to look back on in the future. Like, I can't believe I did all of this. You can show your family, show your kids. So that's another reason why I started my YouTube channel. I want to show my family in the future. I want to show all my loved ones my videos. So don't care what anyone thinks of you. Go hard, stay consistent. Afromania asks, are you still visiting mosques all over the world? So yeah, I've been to a mosque in 113 countries so far. Vatican City is the only country I've been to that didn't have a mosque. And I just love visiting mosques when I travel, especially because I stay in hostels. It's very awkward praying in hostel rooms. So I always find the nearby mosques to go pray in. I go meet the locals. I ask them questions, get to interact with them. Visiting mosques all over the world is amazing. I love it so much. So yeah. Ali_CTB, how much did you save to start? So I saved around $25,000. And once I had that in my bank account, I was like, I'm going to send it. I'm never going to be this young again. Let me go see the world with this money. I don't know what my plan is. I have no plan, but we want to see the world. We got to see it. So you don't need to save that much. Save $10,000. You can see so much, so much with that. I got to do a little stretch break. The next question, Arbaz Adventures, what's the plan after you hit every country in the world? The plan is to keep traveling. There's so much to see in this world. So much to do. I always leave cities in each country for a reason to go back. Go back with friends, family, my future wife. So yeah, I'm going to keep traveling. I want to start some businesses, work on some charities, help people around the world. That's a huge goal for me. I want to be able to help people in all these countries I go to. So yeah, that's the plan. Salkuki28 said, the most impressive thing you saw with your own eyes. Two things come to mind, man. So whenever I was in Iceland during COVID, that was one of the craziest experiences ever. And there was an active volcano going on. I drove to the volcano, hiked around an hour to it, and nobody was around the volcano. It was just like me with this active volcano, lava flowing right in front of me. It was shocking. I couldn't believe this was real life. I was like, am I on planet Earth? That was the craziest thing ever. And number two, I'd say Antarctica. Bro, Antarctica is the most beautiful place on Earth. It's so amazing, man. You see all of these whales, penguins, dolphins, amazing mountains, glaciers. I don't know how you can question God after going to Antarctica. It will honestly change your whole life, your whole perspective on Earth. Antarctica, unreal. This person actually asked, how can you go to Antarctica? I want to see penguin as well. So there's basically two ways to go to Antarctica. You can do a cruise from the southern of Argentina, Ushuaia, the southern tip of Argentina. That's what I did. I did a 14-day cruise that took me to Antarctica and back. You can also do a cruise from Cape Town, South Africa. So those are like the two most southern points in the world. They have two cruises available. And that's what I did. Unbelievable. You get to go to Drake's Passage. It's crazy. Recommended. Bucket list trip, man. Bucket list trip. Finding halal food despite language barriers. Google Maps will be your best friend. Google Maps, things are changing fast on Google Maps, bro. You can go to any city, type Barcelona halal, you'll find so much halal food. You can type South Korea halal, so much halal food. So the internet is changing things, Google Maps is changing things. And you just ask locals, try to find local Muslims. Go to the mosque. Hey, is there good halal food out here? They'll point you to the mosque. That's what I usually do. I ask locals at the mosque, they take me to the best restaurants. Amana.k, you ate a lot of street food. Did you get sick at all? I've gotten sick in 2 countries. I bet you can guess them. India, Pakistan. Bro, I got so sick in India and Pakistan. I eat street food every single country, but those are the only 2 I've gotten sick in. I even had a layover recently in India. I ate food in the airport lounge. I got sick in it. So yeah, Bangladesh, I didn't get sick. I was surprised. Bangladesh didn't get sick. Afghanistan didn't get sick. Yeah, I gotta find a way to go back to Pakistan and India without getting sick. I'm not trying to get sick again. It wasn't a good experience. But most of the time I always eat street food. I'm good. Okay, Abdullah Daha 86. Afghani Kebab is the best kebab in the world. Be honest. I'm gonna be honest. It's the best kebab in the world so far. I love Afghani Kebab, bro. Afghan Kebab every single day. I ate it every single night for dinner. I wasn't expecting food to be that good. Afghanistan has top 3 cuisine. Top 3 cuisine for me. Sadaf said, how was your experience from Afghanistan? Would you like to go again? Absolutely. We are going back to Afghanistan. Afghanistan's in the bod, man. There's so many cities I didn't even get to visit. Once I left, a lot of people were telling me you need to go visit these places. I Googled them. So amazing. Bro, Afghanistan, I'm telling you, the most kind-hearted people I've seen in the world. It's crazy to me that the Western media tries dehumanizing all of them. I love the people of Afghanistan, bro. I love them. I've never had that many people, random people, just come up to me every single hour, offering me to stay at their house, offering me to stay with them. And I even talked to other travelers there as well. I met these two Malaysian girls solo traveling, no guide. They said it was easily top 3 trip of their life. They had a great time there. Have you ever been surprised by the hospitality of people when they learn you're Palestinian? Man, it's honestly so heartwarming every single time I tell someone I'm Palestinian. They show so much love. So much love. True brotherhood, especially when I'm traveling around these Muslim countries. But there's many countries I've been to where they've never met a Palestinian before and they don't know much about it. Just they listen to what the media says. So I'm able to teach them. I'm able to show them the truth, what it means being a Palestinian, what it means being resilient. And I'm the only Palestinian they'll ever meet. But I pray for a day where my people can go and see the world, live a peaceful life. That's all I ever think about. Inshallah, one day. But for now, I'm going to keep spreading the truth, keep traveling to these places and showing a smile when I meet all of these people around the world. When they meet their first Palestinian, I'm going to be smiling and saying hello. Alrighty, Mahmoud, how much time do you spend editing? Would you ever hire an editor? Oh, too much time editing. I am a slow editor. The reason I haven't hired an editor is I tried sending a few videos. It's always not quality. Anytime I send my videos, it's not the way I want them. But I spend a lot of time editing. That's why I only post like once a week. I'm trying to get faster at editing. Editing is tough, but if you want to make YouTube work, you gotta be consistent. You gotta edit almost every day to every other day and post once a week at least. Question from 572. Can you make camera suggestions for someone on a budget? Thank you. Honestly, if you want to get into vlogging, there's one camera I recommend. DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Nothing beats it. It's what I use for all of my recent videos. I've tried every single camera. I've tried GoPro, the big cameras. I have so many different cameras, but this is the #1 camera on the market. Comes with a mic, comes with a tripod. I'm filming this video on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 right now, so definitely recommend it. Question from Muzzy.7. Will you ever run some form of travel group for like-minded people to travel with you? The answer to this is yes. I really want to organize a group travel. I want people to come join me around the world, come take them to these countries I go to. Right now, I'm trying to prioritize YouTube pretty heavy, but the goal is to definitely start these travel groups, bring people around the world, bring people to Muslim countries, see all of this that I get to see. Inshallah, I want more people to see the world. That's my goal. If I can inspire one person to travel the world, I've done my job. So definitely want more people to go see the world. Question from Amitav7. How did you feel when you were in Bosnia? Yo, Bosnia, best country in Europe. I love Bosnia so much, man. I miss the food. I miss the mosques. I miss the people. Bosnia was amazing. I'm gonna do a lot more Bosnia trips in my life. If you haven't visited Bosnia, you have to visit it. I'm not a big fan of Europe overall, but Bosnia, I love it. I love it so much. Umizo asked, we please need a breakdown of your travel gear / luggage. How travel with so little? So I honestly don't travel with much. I have my big backpack, my 40L. That's the max size you can bring for carry-on. And then I have a small backpack on my side. This is where I usually have all my camera equipment. And in my 40-liter backpack, I have all of my clothes. So I carry around 5 shirts, 2 pants, 3 shorts, 7 underwear, 7 socks. So 1 pair of socks per day of the week, 1 pair of underwear per day of the week. And then I do a lot of laundry. That's the clothes that I have for the whole year. And if I need to buy clothes, you can always buy them. If it's really cold somewhere, you don't really need too much to travel. Pack light, do lots of laundry, and you can travel the whole world. I literally travel out of backpacks to 100+ countries. Just 2 backpacks, that's all I need. Country you'd consider moving to, making it worth the hardship of leaving family behind. There's one country I have in mind, Malaysia. I spent 3 months this year. Amazing, amazing living there. And maybe I could move my whole family to Malaysia. We could live in Malaysia, bro. I love it there. In my own universe travels, can you go into details about hard visas to obtain? Those are the trips coming up. 2025, I'm gonna have a West Africa trip. We're gonna vlog the whole experience. A lot of those visas are pretty hard to get. So most of the hard visas to get are actually in Africa, and I haven't explored Africa too much yet. So it's the most expensive continent by far, the most expensive visas. The visas are hard to get, but I'll vlog the whole process once we go through Africa. You'll see the journey. 47A07, I'm thinking of going to Nepal in April, and after that, Japan. How was your experience? Nepal, you're gonna love Nepal. I just did a 14-day Himalaya hike all by myself in a Annapurna circuit. No one, just solo. It was the best trek ever, man. Best trek ever. I haven't posted the YouTube videos on it yet. Nepal is dope. You're gonna love Nepal. And Japan's a really cool place. Just getting a lot of tourism now. So I don't know how it's gonna feel. I went to Japan around 5 years ago. So it was like the second country I've ever visited. So I'm sure it's a lot different now than 5 years ago. But Japan is sick. Japan is still cool. Ali Nadim Khan asked, you ever gonna upload vids from when you recorded on the GoPro years ago, like El Salvador? That was such a long time ago. El Salvador, man. That's crazy. If you followed me on Instagram throughout all these years, you know that I've been vlogging, been doing all of this, but I haven't posted any of it on YouTube. Basically, part of it was I was always too worried, like, what do people think once they watch my videos? Are my videos good enough? I was overthinking my videos all the time, but just recently I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm posting everything and anything. I'm not overthinking anymore. And alhamdulillah, it's been going good. So one tip I have for you guys, record everything, post everything. Don't care what people think. It's your life, man. It's your life. Q Jamal 17, do your parents ever tell you to stop traveling and enjoy time with them? My parents, they're happy I'm traveling, but they're also like, you need to get married. But that's just how all Middle Eastern, South Asian parents are. So they just want me to get married, start a family. And it's definitely a goal of mine. It's definitely a goal of mine. But I still want to see the world. So question from Abdul Aziza 14. Where's the best places you've spent Ramadan/Eid in different continents? So I've actually never spent Ramadan in a Muslim country. I spent Ramadan last year in the Caribbean, South America, and then some in Northern America, Texas. But this is going to be my first Ramadan upcoming spending it in Muslim countries. I plan on going to Malaysia, Indonesia, and some other countries nearby. I haven't picked which ones, and I'm going to vlog the whole experience, show it to you all. But I'm really excited for that. I've only spent one Eid in Malaysia, Eid al-Adha last year. It was the best Eid of my life, man. It's so amazing seeing the whole community eat together, the slaughtering, just everything. I've never seen this this Eid experience in the West that I saw in Malaysia. So I'm really excited for this upcoming Eid Ramadan. Can't wait to show it to you. Question from Slavic Therapy. On scale 1 to 10, how much did travel make you a better person and better Muslim? I'm gonna say 10, man. Travel completely changes you as a person. Before traveling, I feel like I used to complain a lot. I used to think, oh, my life sucks, all of this. Once I started seeing the world, seeing how life really is, I don't complain about anything anymore. Every single day I say Alhamdulillah. And it also basically started helping me to pray 5 times a day. So before I started traveling the world, I didn't pray 5 times a day. I'd probably pray a few times a day. And then once I started traveling, meeting Muslim communities, visiting mosques, it really got me into Islam. I did my first Umrah trip alone. So Alhamdulillah, man, traveling really changed me as a person. And I'm just grateful to have this experience. Question from Ahmed Malik. Just wanted to let you know I really enjoyed your series about Muslim side of Philippines. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it. The Muslim side of the Philippines is so amazing, man. They were the most hospitable people in all the Philippines. Southern Philippines, Mindanao, I really want to go back. I want to go explore some more around there. Document it more. I recommend everyone to go. Most people don't really go to Mindanao. Whenever they visit Philippines, they don't go to Cotabato. So definitely try to add that on your list when you go to Philippines. There's a lot of Muslims there. It's a beautiful place. Okay, Riyaz AD, best halal destination for a couple with great nature and adventure with halal foods. You can't beat Southeast Asia. Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, all of these places, you'll have great nature, great hotels for a good price, amazing halal food. That's what I recommend. Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand. Those 3 countries, elite. Elite. Can't get better than that, honestly. Sam Dadib, how do you find cheapest flight deals? A lot of research. So I use Google Flights, I use Skyscanner. Before I plan a trip to a country, I already know what's the cheapest country to go to after and what's the cheapest way to get to that country. So I do so much research. You have to if you want to travel cheaply and see the world, especially if you want to see 100 countries for $20,000. I've taken 2 international flights under $10. I flew from Abu Dhabi to Oman for $7. I flew from North Morocco to Spain for $9. So I found that out through research. If you research, you'll find some great deals. Anonymous Roti, language barriers. Is it possible to travel without local guide? Language barriers is one of my favorite parts of traveling. You're able to learn so much. You can just communicate with a smile, with a nod. And then I also use Google Translate a lot as well, especially when I'm asking like, hey, is this food okay to eat? And local guide, I never use local guides. I like traveling a country alone. I don't really like a guide taking me from place to place. I want to go interact with locals, go talk to people. There's a few countries that I need a local guide to travel in, like Iran. That's why I haven't been to Iran yet, because I don't really want to go with a guide. But if that's the only way to go, might have to make it happen. Travel is better without a guide personally. You can actually talk to the people, learn a lot more, interact with people. I feel like when you use a guide, you're just going place to place, following a guide around. You don't need a guide to travel, man. Snap lens. Do you collect any sort of memorabilia from various countries, such as fridge magnets? So I travel lightly. I have a backpack. I don't collect much. I try to collect some magnets, but what I do collect is currency in every single country. I have a huge money wall in my desk back home. So I get currency from every single country in the world. I love collecting currency, and it's very easy too, especially if you don't have space. So that's my favorite thing to collect while I travel. How do you find traveling and praying in different masajid with different school of thought? So my answer to this is I only pray to Allah. All these places I go to, some places pray different, some places pray a certain way. It's different schools of thought. I ask them questions, I learn, but I stay true to myself the whole time. And I like learning. I like understanding how Islam is different in different parts of the world. But at the end of the day, we pray to one God, and I pray to Allah, and that's it. Have you had any experience with theft, fears traveling alone? Surprisingly, the only place in the whole world where I've got stuff stolen in was the fanciest restaurant in Vienna. It was a place where they make the famous chocolate cake over there. I put my bag under my feet. 1 second, it was gone. I had my expensive Fuji camera in there. I had $1,000 cash. It was a big, big loss. But yeah, the fanciest place in the world, got my bag stolen. But all these places everywhere else, I've never gotten anything taken. I've been to favelas in Brazil. I've been to the most dangerous areas. No theft, but the fanciest place in Europe. So yeah, fears traveling alone. I've gotten pretty used to it. I love traveling alone. You get to meet more people that way. H. Khani 19 asked, best hike you completed? I'll give you my top 3. W Trek Patagonia, 5-day hike, Patagonia in Chile. Amazing, amazing hike. I did it fully solo, no guide needed. Number 2, Mount Kilimanjaro. Bro, the energy of Kilimanjaro is unreal. The tallest mountain in Africa. You have the friendliest crew with you. It's so, so nice. Number 1 was the Annapurna circuit I just did in Nepal. 10 plus days spent in the mountains alone, going through local villages. It's unreal. Those are the 3 hikes I recommend everyone to do in their life. Annapurna circuits, W Trek, Kilimanjaro, and we got a lot more hikes. One day I want to be able to hike Everest. That is top of my list. Snaplands also asked, do you have plans to settle down and start a family, and would you continue traveling? So I definitely want to start a family. It's very important for me. I want to have a huge family. Got to carry the Palestinian roots. Also get married, but I have a few more years. I feel like once I'm in my 30s, for sure need to get married. I still want to travel though. Travel the world with my wife, travel with my kids. We're going to keep traveling. I feel like I'm always going to be a traveler no matter what. That's just who I am. I love adventure. I love seeing the world. I love meeting people. I'm going to end it with this question. The most beautiful country you've ever seen after Palestine? Man, Al-Aqsa is the most amazing place on earth. Nothing is going to beat the feeling of going to Al-Aqsa, being there for Jummah. I really wish everyone can go to Al-Aqsa one day. And most beautiful after that, Indonesia, Nepal, and Iceland. Those 3 are unmatched. Unmatched beauty. You got waterfalls, you got glaciers in Iceland, you got everything. Those are the top 3 countries. We got to get a little water break after all that talking, but man, that was so much fun. Got to answer so many questions. I still have a lot more questions to answer, but hopefully we can answer in a future video. Drop some questions below in the comments though. I'm going to try to answer some as well in the comments. Thank you everyone for watching. We got more videos coming up. We got the next series coming up. I'll see y'all later. Assalamu alaikum.